I live in Portland, Oregon. I work as an electrician for a commercial contractor. This story is about my girlfriend Jenna. She was 24 at the time. She had just finished an associate degree in health sciences. She was looking for work, but the market was rough. Then she found a listing for a live-in caregiver position. A family in Lake Oswego needed overnight help for an elderly woman. Dorothy was 78, early-stage dementia, around-the-clock supervision. Her son Howard and his wife Linda lived in the house too. They worked during the day. They needed someone there at night. The pay was decent, room and board included. Jenna would stay weekdays and come home on weekends. She interviewed on a Tuesday afternoon. She came back saying the house was beautiful. Big colonial, manicured lawn, 3-car garage. Howard was polite but distant. He shook her hand once and disappeared into his office. Linda was warm, talkative. She gave Jenna a full tour. She showed her the guest room on the 2nd floor, end of the hallway, nice bed, private bathroom, window overlooking the backyard. Linda mentioned the previous caregiver had left suddenly. Family emergency. She didn't elaborate. Jenna didn't ask. Dorothy was frail but kind. She smiled a lot. She called Jenna sweetheart. Jenna liked her immediately. She took the job that day. The first 2 weeks went smoothly. Breakfast, medication, short walks in the garden. Some nights Dorothy woke up confused. Jenna sat with her until she calmed down. Linda praised her patience. Howard stayed quiet, nodding in passing. Then came the 3rd week. Thursday night, a thunderstorm rolled in. Around 9 p.m. the power went out. The whole house went dark. Jenna had this habit. Every night before bed she put on chapstick. Same brand since high school, cherry flavored. She'd sit on the edge of the bed, apply it slowly, and set it on the nightstand. A tiny ritual before sleep. She was in bed scrolling on her phone when the lights cut. Instinctively she looked up. The room was pitch black. No glow from the hallway, no streetlight through the window. Except one thing. A tiny red light on the ceiling. Blinking, steady, coming from the smoke detector directly above her bed. She stared at it. Smoke detectors usually have a green light, sometimes no light at all. But this one was red, and it blinked in a pattern. Too consistent. Too deliberate. She checked the detector in the hallway. No light. Bathroom. No light. Downstairs, the living room detector had a small green LED. The kitchen one had nothing. She went back to her room. The red light was still blinking. Her stomach turned. She called me. She asked if she was being paranoid. I told her to look closer. She stood on the bed and held her phone flashlight up to the casing. That's when she saw it. A small black pinhole next to the blinking light. Barely visible unless you were looking for it. I told her there are apps that detect infrared from hidden cameras. I found one and sent her the link. She downloaded it. She pointed her phone at the detector. The screen lit up immediately. Strong infrared signal. There was a camera inside, pointed directly at her bed. She started breathing fast. I told her to stay calm. Don't react. Don't stare at it. Pat quietly. Get out. She put me on speaker and stuffed clothes into her bag. Hands shaking. Barely got it zipped. She opened the bedroom door. The hallway was dark. She stepped out. Then she heard a voice from the stairs. Linda, going somewhere, sweetie? Jenna froze. Linda stood at the top of the staircase in a bathrobe, arms crossed, not smiling. Jenna forced her voice steady. She said she didn't feel well. She wanted to go home for the night. She'd be back in the morning. Linda didn't move. Then Howard appeared behind her, fully dressed, like he'd been awake the whole time. What's the rush, he said. His voice was flat. Jenna stepped back. Linda tilted her head. You found it, didn't you? Jenna didn't answer. Her heart was pounding so hard she could hear it. Howard started walking toward her. Give me your phone, he said. Jenna ran. No thinking. Just movement. Down the hallway. Past Dorothy's room. Down the back stairs. Through the kitchen. Footsteps behind her. Howard was fast. She hit the back door. Fumbled the lock. Got it open. She ran across the yard. Through the garden. Past the fence. Into the dark. She didn't stop until she reached the main road. She hid behind hedges near a bus stop. Phone still in her hand. She called me again. I was already in my car. I made the drive in 20. When I found her, she was crouched behind the hedges, shaking. I held her until she could breathe normally. We went straight to the police station, almost midnight. We filed a report. Told them everything. The detective took it seriously. He said they needed a warrant. They got one before dawn. Officers and a forensic tech went to the house. Jenna and I waited at the station. When the detective came back, his face said it first. They searched the guest room. The smoke detector was gone. The mount was still there, but the device itself had been removed. Howard and Linda claimed they had no idea what we meant. They said the detector had been malfunctioning. They removed it earlier. They threw it away. Garbage had already been collected. No device, no evidence, no case. Jenna didn't cry. She just stared at the floor. We drove home as the sun came up. She didn't speak the whole way. That was 6 months ago. Jenna started seeing a therapist. She's doing better now. She sleeps through the night most of the time. She's even looking at jobs again. Slow progress, but progress. I thought we were moving on. Then last week, I was scrolling through Zillow. Curiosity. I typed in the address. The house was listed for sale. Same colonial exterior, same manicured lawn, same 3-car garage. And there was the guest room. 2nd floor, end of the hallway. The listing called it perfect for live-in help or au pair. The smoke detector was back on the ceiling. Brand new, same spot. I showed Jenna. She stared at the screen for a long time. Then she closed the laptop. No words. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the previous caregiver, the one who left suddenly. Family emergency. Jenna had mentioned her name once. Rachel something. I searched until I found her Instagram. Still active. But the last post was 8 months ago. Nothing since. No stories, no updates, no comments. I dug deeper. I found a missing persons report, filed 3 months after her last post. Her family in Ohio hadn't heard from her. She stopped answering calls. She missed her mother's birthday. She never came home. The case is still open. I haven't told Jenna yet. She's finally starting to heal. But some nights I lie awake and think about that guest room, that smoke detector, that little red light blinking in the dark. I think about Jenna sitting on the edge of the bed, putting on her chapstick, her tiny ritual. I think about how many nights they watched it, how many nights they recorded it. And I think about Rachel, where she is now, if she's anywhere at all. The house is still for sale. Last I checked, it had 3 interested buyers. I work security at a dry goods warehouse in Madison, Wisconsin. Or I used to. The building is massive. 12 aisles of floor-to-ceiling shelves, 3 loading docks, 1 main entrance, and 32 cameras covering almost every inch. I worked nights with a guy named John. We'd been partners 2 years. Same schedule, same routine. John was quiet, late 40s, divorced. He had a daughter named Lily, 7 years old. He showed me her drawings once. Stick figures with big heads and curly hair. She always drew them holding hands. He kept one folded in his wallet. That night started like any other. John took the first patrol. I stayed in the control room with coffee and 8 monitors. 4 feeds per screen. Fluorescent hum overhead. Radio crackle now and then. Around 1 a.m., I saw something on monitor 3. A shadow slipped across the edge of the frame. Quick, gone before I could focus. Camera 3 covered the south corridor by cold storage. I leaned in and watched. Nothing. I cycled through every feed in that area. Empty aisles. No movement. No one. Maybe I imagined it. Night shift does that to you. I picked up the radio. "John, you near the south side?" I asked. "Negative." "I'm up by loading dock 2, he said. "Why? You see something?" "Thought I did." "Probably nothing." "Copy that." I kept watching. 10 minutes. 15. Then I saw it again. Camera 7. A figure standing between shelves in aisle 9. Just standing there, facing away. Dark clothes. Hood up. My stomach dropped. "John, aisle 9. Someone is in aisle 9. "You sure?" "I'm looking at him right now." The figure didn't move. Then the system cycled feeds. 4 seconds. When camera 7 returned, the aisle was empty. "John, he moved." I lost visual. "Which direction?" "I don't know. He was just gone." My hands started shaking as I scanned the grid. Then I noticed camera 12. The angle was wrong. That camera was supposed to point straight down the west corridor. Now it was tilted slightly left. Someone had touched it. "John," I said into the radio. My voice cracked. "Camera 12 has been adjusted. Someone moved it. What? The angle is off. Someone physically turned the camera. A pause. I'm heading to the west corridor now, John said. I watched him appear on camera 11, flashlight in one hand, radio in the other. He moved toward camera 12. Then he entered the blind spot. Between camera 12 and camera 13, there was a 15-foot gap. No coverage. We always knew it was there. Never thought it mattered. John, you're in the blind spot. Be careful. Copy. I'm almost through. I can see the static, then silence. John. Nothing. John respond. Nothing. I stared at camera 13. He should have appeared by now. The corridor was empty. I grabbed the landline and dialed 911. This is security at Hartwell Distribution Center. My partner is not responding. I believe there's an intruder in the building. Units were on the way. 8 minutes. I couldn't wait. I took my flashlight and the wooden baton by the door. The warehouse was silent. My footsteps echoed off concrete. Every shadow looked like a person. I reached the west corridor. Camera 12 was above me, tilted. Just like the monitor showed, the blind spot was ahead. I found John on the floor, face down, blood pooling under his head. John. I rolled him over. His eyes were closed, but he was breathing. Shallow, weak. Then I heard it. A door, the emergency exit at the far end. I looked up, 2 figures running. They hit the push bar and the door flew open. Cold air rushed in. I saw them cross the parking lot. A black sedan was waiting. No plates, no lights. They got in. The car rolled away. No headlights until it reached the road. Then it was gone. Police arrived. Then an ambulance. John went out on a stretcher. I visited the next morning. John was awake, bandage around his head. He looked exhausted. I don't remember anything, he said. I was walking down the corridor. Then nothing. I woke up here. The doctor said blunt force trauma, short-term memory loss, physical therapy. He should recover. After a while, John fell asleep. A nurse said I could stay. His jacket hung on a hook by the door. His wallet had slipped out onto the floor. I picked it up. Something fell out with it. A folded piece of newspaper. Old, yellowed at the edges. The headline read, "2 convicted in Milwaukee warehouse theft ring." Below it was a courthouse photo. And standing on the steps was John. Younger, thinner, but him. The article said he was a key witness. His testimony helped convict 2 men, 8 years for one, 5 for the other. Dated 3 years ago. I heard John's voice behind me, weak but clear. "Where did you find that?" "It fell out of your wallet," I said. He stared at the paper like it could bite him. Then he said, quiet and flat, "I thought it was over. I moved here to get away from it. I never told anyone." He swallowed. "I guess some people don't forget." I put the article back. We didn't talk about it again. The police reviewed footage. Camera 12 had been manually adjusted, but there were no clear faces, no prints, no plates, nothing stolen, nothing damaged. Just John. The case went cold in 2 weeks. I quit the next day. John quit after he got out. He moved in with his sister. Physical therapy, slow progress. Lily visited on weekends. He told me she kept drawing him with bandages. She wrote, "Brave Dad," underneath. I saw him once after he moved. We drank coffee on his sister's porch. He didn't say much. Then he pulled out his wallet. He showed me Lily's old drawing, the 2 of them holding hands. The blood stain was still there. A small brown smear in the corner. "I tried to clean it," he said, "but it won't come out." He put it away. He looked out at the street. 15 feet, he said. That's all it was. 15 feet of nothing. And they knew exactly where it was. I think about that sometimes. When I notice a security camera in the corner, when I notice a gap in coverage.
15 feet.
That's all it takes. Some people wait years for the right moment. Some people never forget. And some debts don't go away, no matter how far you run. Still here?
Good.
The last story is the worst one. If you're not subscribed yet, this is your warning. My fiancée Meg and I moved to Austin, Texas 3 years ago. I'm a software developer. She works in marketing. Our lease ended and rent jumped. We needed a new place fast. Austin's market is brutal. We were getting desperate. Then we found Vincent Reese, landlord, real estate agent. He owned a small complex on the east side, 6 units, 3 buildings, and a small cottage in the back where he lived. The photos looked charming. Old oak trees, a courtyard with string lights, private entrances, and the rent was reasonable. Almost too reasonable. Vincent met us at the gate, early 50s, thin, grey hair combed back. He smiled a lot. He shook our hands and held on a little too long. He showed us Unit 6F, second floor,
corner unit,
hardwood, big windows, updated kitchen, perfect. I like to know my tenants, Vincent said. This is a small community. Everyone looks out for each other. He handed us an application, longer than anything I'd seen. Employment history, previous addresses, references, social media handles. He even asked for recent photos of both of us. For the resident directory, he explained, we were desperate. We filled it out and submitted it that night. 2 days later, he called. We got the unit. The first few weeks were fine. Neighbors were quiet. Courtyard was peaceful. Vincent was always around, watering plants, checking mailboxes, walking the property at odd hours. One night I woke up around 2 a.m. for water. Our window overlooked the courtyard and Vincent's cottage. I saw him outside. He walked to a metal hatch in the ground, a storm cellar. He opened it and climbed down. The hatch closed behind him. I told myself it was storage, tornado supplies, something normal. Then I saw it again the next night. Around the same time, same routine. Down for about an hour. Back up, inside. The third night it was closer to 3 a.m. He stayed down there almost 2 hours. I told Meg. She tried to joke, maybe he has a wine cellar, but neither of us laughed. A week later, Vincent invited us to dinner. He did it with all new tenants, apparently. We didn't want to go, but he was our landlord. He cooked pasta, poured wine, asked too many questions. Where we met, how long we'd been engaged, where Meg grew up, what gym I went to. And I noticed something else. His cologne, sandalwood, with something sharper underneath, distinctive, almost sweet. At one point I asked, I noticed you have a storm cellar out back. Do you use it much? Vincent's fork stopped halfway to his mouth, just for a second. Then he smiled. Old storage, previous owner built it. I keep junk down there. He changed the subject fast, but his eyes did something, like a door closing. Walking back to our unit, Meg grabbed my arm. Did you see his face when you asked about the cellar?
Yeah.
He's hiding something. We started watching more carefully. The pattern continued. Late night visits. An hour, sometimes 2. Then the opportunity came. Vincent told us he'd be out of town for the weekend. A real estate conference in Houston. He left Friday afternoon. We waited until midnight. The complex was quiet. Lights off in the other units. We went to the cottage. Around back. The hatch had a padlock hanging from the latch, but it wasn't locked. The shackle just rested in the loop, like he left in a hurry and forgot. I lifted the hatch. Concrete stairs led down into darkness. Phone flashlight on. We climbed down. The cellar was bigger than I expected. It extended under the entire cottage. And it wasn't storage. A desk. A chair. 6 monitors in 2 rows. Live feeds. All 6 apartments. Bedrooms. Bathrooms. Everything. Meg covered her mouth. I felt sick. A laptop sat on the desk. No password. Folders labeled by unit number and name. I clicked 6F. Hundreds of files. Dated. Time-stamped. Every day since we moved in. Previous tenants. 14 subfolders. 14 names. Years of footage. Then one folder froze my blood. Pre-application. Inside were photos of Meg and me, taken before we ever applied. Meg at a coffee shop. Me at the gym. Us walking downtown. He had watched us. He had chosen us. We need to go, Meg whispered. I took photos of the monitors and folders. Then we climbed back up, closed the hatch, walked back to our unit shaking. Meg was crying. We didn't call the police right away. Back in our bedroom, Meg stopped in the doorway. Her eyes were on the nightstand. The digital alarm clock. It had been there since the day we moved in. Cheap plastic, bright blue display. Vincent called it a welcome kit item. Meg reached for it, then pulled her hand back. Look, she whispered. A tiny black dot in the glossy front panel. So small you'd miss it. Now it felt obvious. I grabbed a screwdriver, dropped it once, tried again. 2 screws, back panel off. Inside wasn't just wiring, a small camera module behind the faceplate, a sliver of a lens aimed straight outward, a micro SD card taped in place. Meg cried quietly, like she didn't want to make noise in her own apartment. I wrapped the clock in a towel, put it in a grocery bag and held it like evidence, because that's what it was. Something real, something you can't misplace. Then we called 911. Officers arrived fast. We handed them the clock immediately. They bagged it, logged it, gave us a receipt. Chain of custody. A detective showed up. We showed him the photos from the cellar. He didn't need convincing. They got a warrant. They went down into the storm cellar while we waited outside. When the detective came back up, his face was tight. The workstation's been cleared, he said. No laptop, some drives are missing. He nodded at the evidence bag. But this is enough. Because the micro SD wasn't empty. Dozens of clips. Our bedroom, our living room from an angle we didn't recognize, and a file from the day we moved in. Vincent's hands setting the clock on our nightstand. Vincent's voice off camera, smiling. Just so you have something to wake up to, he said. And for half a second, in the dark reflection of the clock screen, you could see his face. An arrest warrant went out within 48 hours. But Vincent Reese was gone. Cottage stripped. Closets empty. No forwarding address. No real ID. The license number he gave us didn't match any state record. We moved out the next day. 3 months passed. We started to feel safe again. Meg stopped checking the windows. I stopped waking up at 2 a.m. Then one night I walked past the hallway near the front door, and I smelled it. Sandalwood. That sharp sweetness underneath. Vincent's cologne, just for a second. Then it was gone. I checked the door. Locked. Windows, locked. Every room, nothing. The next morning there was a package on our doorstep. No return address. No postage. Hand-delivered. Inside was a smoke detector. I opened it. A tiny camera inside. Same model as the ones in Vincent's footage. And a handwritten note. Your new place looks nice. We moved again. Different city. I'm not saying where. The police never found Vincent Reese. His license was fake. His name might have been fake too. And now, every night before bed, I check everything. Smoke detectors. Clocks. Any device with a tiny light or a small hole. I take them apart. They're always clean. But that doesn't help me sleep. Because sometimes, late at night, when the apartment is quiet, I catch a faint smell of sandalwood. Just for a second. Then it's gone. If you made it this far, you're one of the real ones. Thank you. Please subscribe. New story every week. Which story was the scariest? 1, 2, or 3? Comment below, I will answer.